to Los Angeles chapter's Conversations, Grammys Bridges the Gaps series. So again, I am Kiana Conley. I'm your Los Angeles chapter executive director of the Recording Academy. Our amazing boards have put together this great series called Conversations, Grammys Bridges the Gaps. And again, today we're here and happy to bring to you a conversation for our hip hop genre. It is called For the Culture, and we're looking at what the future and the leadership of hip hop looks like within the Recording Academy and our Los Angeles chapter family.
Really excited to be here today to have a discussion around hip hop and future leadership in the LA chapter. I first want to start about discussing, the state of hip hop, in LA, and what makes LA unique, what makes the LA chapter unique. Nascent, you're born and raised in Chicago. How long have you been in LA now?
I've been here. I moved here 2014.
Okay. So like,
9 years.
what makes LA unique to you when it comes to hip hop, especially like producing?
Just the amount of resources that I have, really, like just finding the right musicians, do jam sessions, and I really feel like I stepped my game up when I moved out here, because there's a difference between being a beat maker and a producer. So it's like you really learn how to like leave space for the artist when you're producing. You learn how to, and everybody in the room, the same. Everybody they're not from here, so it's like everybody's hungry. So it's like you walk in and you not even the best in the room. So it just motivates you to just get better. And but I just think it's the amount of resources, really. Just you can really make anything happen at any day. So yeah.
Thank you. When it comes to resources, maybe this next question would be great for Len. What are some of the resources that the LA chapter and the Recording Academy provide to creators like Nascent or even professional members of the LA chapter?
I mean, I feel like a lot of the resources come down to the community, especially when it comes to being able to tap into that wide tapestry of different folks, whether it's executive, whether it's fellow producers, whether it's other artists, and being able to give them a home and a place and programs like this where they can kind of coagulate, come together, and really get to bond and build. I feel like that's a resource that's always, I guess, never seen too often, but it's prevalent. Excuse me. I feel like also it's an opportunity for us to be able to, we try to provide people ways to not only learn about the academy and how they can kind of enrich their lives and their careers in the academy, but also how to kind of extend that into the music business as a whole and be able to take that and use the tools that we try to give to be able to excel your careers. So I feel like those are just some of the many resources that we have, and obviously I could go on and on, but I don't want to take up too much time with that. But I feel like there's always ways, and we're always looking for other opportunities to be able to kind of expand on that. And that's where we have this community to be able to give us those resources and give us those examples as well, so we can kind of work off of that as well.
Yeah, definitely, thank you. Ericka, with your series, The Basement, I feel like you're sort of like at the ground level when it comes to like LA culture, with every showcase that you do. Can you speak about that, the community that you're building there, and why LA is the place in which you're doing this?
Absolutely. I'm originally from Kansas City, and so I came out here straight out of high school. So I've been in LA for over 20 years. And so one thing that I can say about Los Angeles is, like, if it's not pure and if it's not good, they not messing with it. And I love that about the city. I love that if it is good, you stick with it, they support it. If it's radio, if it's promo, creatives, like, it's just a different type of energy. And so when I put together The Basement, it was more so for me to just get my friends together and for us to have a kickback. And it just so happened that we end up just getting a lot of great artists to come. And so to now see it and, someone like A Blast or, even Kaylin For Real, or there's a new kid named Zoe Osama that's been doing really good in the city. And I could name a bunch of them, but just to know that they're all from LA and to see how LA is now, like, supporting them. And these are the new names coming up because, for a minute, it was really just like, it was K-Dot. And, it might have been YG and a couple other ones that we're going to always, those are like our, those are the ones. But to now see the youngins come up and just to see the city support, I mean, I think that says a lot. And, we're able to just open our door even more. We had a show last week, and we had Jason Cash and Trey 23, two artists that I wasn't too keen on, but both from South Central. And, did great. And it was just like for people to come out and support them, whether you be from LA or not from LA, I think that just says a lot.
Thank you. Michelle, from a from a creative standpoint, you know, in your seat at RocNation and working with artists and setting up, you know, studio sessions and even writing yourself, you know, what makes LA, you know, a unique creative hub?
The weather. The weather is amazing out here. I mean, you know, I think it's a number of things. LA is a very chill vibe. I'm also not from here. I'm originally from Ohio, lived in New York for a long time. And I think there's a laid-back spirit and vibe in Los Angeles that makes it a really great place to create. I also think one of the things that stood out to me when I moved here is that you can dream probably bigger than you can anywhere. Like when you look in the hills, you see the houses, you see, you know, just so many landmarks that were built from Disney or MGM or all these really great names that I saw growing up on TV and watching them, but just seeing, you know, Paramount or driving past these places. And then also you see, honestly, the money. I think as a creative, it's like, you know, coming from Ohio, I don't see a lot of Bentleys or, you know, Rolls Royces, but, you know, you can go to sort of any grocery store and see that kind of action. And I think that those things are just as inspiring as, you know, anything else, just coming in from the outside.
Wow, yeah, definitely. I'm a transplant as well. I'm from Connecticut originally, and when I first came to the city, my eyes were just wide open, you know, just like, wow. I feel like the Frank Ocean song, like Super Rich Kids, was just like my theme song. You sort of like going to college here and being like, wow, like this is just a different world. But finding the creativity and the love and the community here was just like so amazing. And I think, you know, the LA chapter of the Academy is such like a hub in that. You know, Ericka, you know, sit on a governor's seat now. Can you speak about your role in that seat and what you do, how you advocate, you know, for hip hop and represent your genre?
I'm always hating Kiana because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. What more can I do? Just because it is such an important role, and, you know, for the other members that are on there, we all, like, you know, are out here doing different things. And I think, you know, for me, my whole purpose of it was to be a voice. I think sometimes we get caught up in, like, the results of things and not necessarily the process. And sometimes we got to talk about the process. The process is what counts. The process is what makes you respect, you know, the artist, the creative even more, to make sure you're being an advocate for them. And so if anything, you know, when we are having our conversations, we're always trying to just push the agenda. If it's highlighting someone, if it's getting everybody together, if it's something we could be doing better with, you know, it's honest conversations. And sometimes we don't have those, you know, just in other things. And so I think being on this committee for me, like, that's what means the most. And even for, you know, my role, that's what I want to keep doing. Like, make sure I'm the person talking about you if nobody else is.
Thank you. Thank you for your advocacy there. Nascent, you know, you recently won a Grammy Award. How has that sort of affected your process when you go back to the studio?
I mean, to be honest, not much. I mean, I guess, like, you get more eyes on you, but it's the same thing, man. I still, like, it's the same mentality going in, just put the blinders on, just go to work. So I don't really feel like it affected me too much, me personally. But it definitely, I mean, just the way I got even that Grammy was just, I think it's a example of just like showing up every day. And you feel me? Like, and the little things do count, because the little things build up and they add to the big things. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, but I definitely feel like it had more eyes on me. I think I feel like it almost made it. And it's kind of crazy because, like, the Grammy should, like, it's like you want to be recognized for your work, but you don't do the work for that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everybody wants to be recognized, but if you don't, it don't make it less or make it more. You feel me? It's just you're getting recognized, and I feel like for me it was just I got more recognition, but the business was the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Show up and just get the work done.
Amazing. Yeah, you know, staying humble, staying grounded, I think as a creative is super important.
Yeah, you gotta stay in the middle because shit, when they get going up and you be feeling you gotta stay in the middle because it's gonna come down a little bit and you can't get too low either. So if you stay right in the middle, you good. It go up, down, you right there. So it's like you just, you know, for real. It's
stay
like
in the middle.
That's the best way to stay here. Stay in the middle, you good.
Yeah, from a yogic standpoint, I'm really big into mental health and yoga and mindfulness, and what I call it sometimes is like equanimity, which is like a balance point, and like you're not chasing the high and you're not running away from the lows either. You're just like really being present with every moment, you know, whether you're up or down, you're just in it.
You gotta be, man, because now you go crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you go crazy. I'm telling you, it's how it be. It's like, and just how you prepare for like good fortune. You ready for it? You gotta be ready for the things that might not go your way. Because I'm not trying to get caught with my pants down. When bad, you know, when they come knocking on my door, I'm ready for it. What's up? So that's why I still try to stay in the middle with it.
On that process with staying in the middle, Michelle, like how do you help the creatives that you work with and advocate for them to you know, balance that success? You know, I'm sure as a songwriter and producer, like that grind is tough. You know, like there's some amazing highs, but there's some lows and there's some lulls as well. So can you speak on that a little bit?
Sure. I think the best career you can have is one that is full of highs and lows. If you're just having the highest highs and then it sort of goes, or you get uninspired, or things happen, or I think people also get really comfortable, like you saying, stay in the middle. Sometimes these really big moments, you're so busy celebrating in the end zone that you're not realizing that the game is still going. I think people that have the highs and lows, that's the best career you can have, the ups and downs. I mean, for me, I remember what it was like as a songwriter, so I think just taking care of my writers by hearing them out, getting back to them. I remember what it feels like getting an email from my publisher, and shout out to Universal, that was my publisher for many years. But getting an email from them, it meant so much because it was like somebody's thinking about me, somebody wants me to do a session, and just sometimes in those low moments, an A&R person can reach out, and it could just be a hello, but it's still like, yeah, I'm still in the game, I still got what it takes, and somebody sees me, because the creative, I feel like it's just a space where it's, not to get too deep, but there's a lot of depression, there's a lot of vulnerability, there's a lot of emotions that people are dealing with all the time. That's what makes them so great as writers and producers and artists. So I think it's tapping into that, because you could be having the best, biggest moment winning a Grammy and still be conflicted or having issues. So I think it's just staying in touch with people, hearing them out, making sure they're good. It's not always like, send me the songs. It's like, how's your day going? How are things? You good? You want to just have some tea or coffee? We don't have to talk about business. Because I think there's a caring that A&Rs, we have, a lot of power, I guess, to put people in sessions, but caring about our people is important too.
Thank you for speaking on that. I feel like that care piece is something that, Len, like you really focus on, sort of in your role. We're friends. I always see you out and about, but I feel like you really connect with people though, like on a real level, and you want to see the best for artists and producers and managers and just the whole community and ecosystem. I see you in your seat at the Academy being like a very important piece. So can you speak about, sort of like how you operate sort of like in this industry and what you do to like preserve this community?
I mean, for me, kind of going off of what Michelle was saying, it is about caring, and it is about, understanding beyond the work, beyond the numbers, but really understanding who they are as people, because at the end of the day, we're all the same. And I don't want to look at you as a commodity. I don't want to look at you as just some artist that I'm just so far removed from, but more or less somebody that I can actually build with. And if there's a way I can help, then that's how I want to approach it. I don't want to feel as if we're just taking and not giving anything back either. And that's how I've been trying to amass a lot of the relationships I have, from managers and artists all the way down. And just being able to also extend that with the Academy as well, and letting them know that at least I'm your voice here. Like, if you need anything, that's what I'm here for. And if there's anything I can do outside of it, that's what I'm also here for. And I want that to kind of extend beyond me and my awards department, but to everything I actually touch and everything that we do as an Academy, because I think that's when the real camaraderie is going to really happen, and the real work can start to begin, when everybody buys in, and not just, hey, how do I win a Grammy, or hey, how do we get you on a program, but how are you? What's going on? Like, how can we actually build beyond the surface level stuff that we're all trying to reach out for? Because we all want to be successful, but I feel like we all want to do it in the right way, or at least I do. And that's kind of how I just try and approach it.
Amazing. We have about 5 minutes left, and just being that, we're talking about hip hop, we're celebrating the 50 years of hip hop. Maybe Ericka, I'll start with you. Like, where do you see hip hop going, and what are the things that we need to do to ensure that that we'll be celebrating the 100 years of hip hop?
I mean, I think that I'll use Ice Spice as an example because there's a lot of conversations around what this is or what it shouldn't be. And I think that all of us as just a creative community have to understand there's no blueprint of how it's supposed to be done. And we have to start looking at it like, all right, well, that was somebody else's, this is hers. And maybe I should just respect the way that hers is happening and understand that she is checking off the boxes in the sense of she came with a great record. She worked and then came with a good feature. She then started moving around and gave a great project. So why wouldn't we give her her flowers, you know? And so I think that we have to start understanding there's a new wave of things, and now we need to start putting the blueprint together of what that looks like. And I think that would help the conversations of people that may be upset about things or, you know, this person's been working really hard, but did they produce a really good song? You know, I think it still has to go back to the music. For a minute, we went into everything else but the record. It was about the following. It was about the reach. It was about the TikTok. It was about the conversation. But in the 50 years of hip-hop that we're talking about, everybody we keep highlighting, it was about their records. So, for me, if we can get back to the music, I think we're going to be just fine.
Get back to the music, and I need it documented that I stand Ice Spice and the music is fire.
Good.
The music is fire. Nascent, what about you?
I think that we need to educate ourselves more because I'm independent. I'm not with a publisher. I have an admin deal, but I'm not, never been signed, never been offered a deal up until probably Good Days came out. But I think that we need to educate ourselves and be transparent with information because information is free. There shouldn't be no gatekeeping of information because, we got Google. I think if anybody is trying to withhold something from you, it's like that's whack. And it's but I think that the more we educate ourselves on our just ownership and understanding that a lot of things are hidden in money, and because where we come from, our environments, we don't have that money, so it's like a little carrot dangling in front of you. So it's like you just take it because you're like, oh, I never seen that kind of money in my life. So it's like more so just being just making the right moves, just like you feel me, just as far as maybe holding off on a deal because you ain't never seen it 50,000, but man, just go get a part-time job or something. That's how I did it, and I feel like just maintaining ownership and and just having that knowledge and information because that's how we're gonna retain that power. Because I'm Mexican, but I'm making black music, so I have to be responsible of how I do my business, and also just speaking on what I know because that's how I feel like I gotta get down. You know what I mean? And it's important for that because really artists are the most exploited, but black artists are the most exploited artists in just in general. And it's so we gotta just be we gotta change that. And it's gonna start with us, songwriters, producers, and just calling it out. Because they don't like when you know what you know. They're like, you know too much. And they be getting frustrated with you, but it's shit, well, I'm smart, what you mean? I did my research, what do you mean? And it's and there's little things like that you gotta look out for. But that's, for a different conversation. But I think that just having that knowledge, that will be good to go.
Thank you, and I appreciate you talking about that education and really pushing it forward. And Ericka, you touching on just bringing it back to the music. Really want to thank all the panelists for having this amazing conversation, and for the LA chapter, the Black Music Collective for hosting us. Want to open it up to questions. Jade has our first question.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Jade Bacon. I'm the Grammy U GU rep for the Los Angeles chapter, and I'm here to kick off the Q&A. Grammy U is the Student Recording Academy membership for our college students who are interested in being music industry professionals or work within the music industry as a creative. So the question I really want to ask is that you guys were all, can I move to the side? Okay. The question I really wanted to ask is that you guys all said you're all from different places. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I came here to USC. That's how I got to LA, but also I went to work in the music industry, so that was also a great reason to come to LA. I think a lot of students get here, especially when they're from different places, and they see this really big space and community, and they're not really sure how to make a space in it. So I really want to ask your experiences when you first got here, and how you really dealt with trying to find a space for yourself, but also balancing with that with learning how to be an adult, learning how to grow up as well.
I'll start for myself. I came out here, hit the ground running. Actually, we're in the Universal building, but this used to be called the Tom Tom Club. And Jimmy Iovine would have like the interns, all of us come here and listen to every new artist. And that's how he would kind of like get his feedback for things. But, you know, it was stepping outside of my shell. I wanted to know. My whole thing was at one point I have to be the CEO of a company, and in order to do that, I got to know how to do all the different departments. So if it's the mailroom, if it's PR, if it's the runner, if it's whatever, I want to know how to do it. So I interned in every department, and you know that's kind of how I learned everything and learned, you know, my friends that I still have to this day that helped me build my community. And so yeah, that was my little take.
I mean, I think for me, it was, I came here from New York like, what, 12, 13 years ago, and doing mostly journalism because my love of music was what took me here, and I didn't really have an in. So getting the opportunity to be here at the Recording Academy and be able to be around such good people like this, it kind of thrust me into the deep end, which I was happy with, because for me, it's like there's no other way for me to show this love but to actually be an advocate for it and to really show up for the things that I care about, especially black music, especially hip-hop, and whether that's me being able to write something, or whether that's me just being able to connect with somebody and understand what they do in this business and how that correlates with me and how I can help them. And I feel like for me, just trying to be a connective tissue of sorts is what kind of helped me get a little bit more comfortable with this business and connect with the people in it. Because, like I said earlier, it's just easier when you're trying to help versus trying to take. So that's made my life a lot easier, and I feel like that can apply to anybody that's trying to make their way in any industry, especially here, though.
I'll just add really quick. I think I'm still figuring it out in LA, but I really did all the groundwork for me in New York. So coming to Los Angeles was reinventing. But there's something about making friends, and I didn't know a lot of people when I got here. So I think being nice and meeting one person, somebody will introduce you to someone else. And it's just like you said, people that you meet in the beginning, you never know where they're going to go. And in this town, people who have the same dreams as you are typically going to kind of come up together. So I think networking and being a good person goes a long way.
Let me see. For me, I think I probably crashed my first couch in 2014. So I've been 9 years. So, you know, we all helped each other out. It's an ecosystem, and you hustle amongst your peers, you know, because you try to reach for the big names and all that stuff, but you just stay right there with it. Everybody's going to help each other out eventually. And then never compromise your morals to get to where you want to get to. And, you know, you got to take the stairs, you take the stairs. But, you know, because, I don't know, to me, that's how it was for me, you feel me? But, like, yeah, that's the best way for me, yeah. You know,
I'll echo that. Just when I first got here, I always thought you needed to go to the top, needed to email the CEO. But now, like, networking across, noticing that all of my friends now are directors, VPs, working the door at an event, working the festival. Every event, I'm always surprised of, like, damn, like, that person from 10 years ago is now doing this. Like, wow, like, just stay amongst your peers, and, like, everybody will rise at the same time. Questions from the audience?
Yes, I think we have one more question, or two more. Great. I'll start with you.
Hi. Okay. My name is Wilcie Chappelle. I've been a member of the Recording Academy since 2016 as a professional member. And my question is actually for Nascent. So once you became a Grammy winner, did you find that your experience after that was one of were people flocking to you? Did you have more resources coming your way, or did you feel ease, or did you feel more pressure at that time now to maintain or exceed that level of success?
No, I didn't feel none of that. No pressure. For me, I didn't feel no pressure. I think that the way I came in the game, I was kind of like, I made my own. I didn't play by the same rules, like, because I wasn't thrown in the system. Like, I never got offered, like, again, going back to like a pub deal, for instance. Like, I never got offered anything because I didn't own any publishing. Everything that I did was samples, so I didn't own anything. But I know, like, at that time, I probably would have took a deal but I just never got offered anything. So really, it was me just hustling by building relationships. So, and on top of that, when I started working with Brent, we created a system where we just we were making money every month because we owned our master. So once that financial, like you good on the money. So now you're not worried about, you don't have to do things for money. So now you kind of get to pick and choose what you want to do. So when I won the Grammy, it was it was dope. It was like knowing that my family ever did that, and it was something that, that I wanted, that was like a goal of mine for sure. But it was nothing changed. I still pick and choose who I want to work with. I still, I'm working. I just do me. So it's like everything was the same. For real, man. I hope that answered the question. Yeah, all right, cool.
Hey, everyone. Hi, my name is Kendra Mickey. I'm an artist. I go by Kendra and the Bunnies. I'm a voting member of the Recording Academy. I'm actually a new member, and it's just like ecstatic. I love it. It's like living in a dream. This has been really cool. I look up to a lot of the artists and the things that you talked about, so thank you so much. My question is for Michelle, but also for everyone. Can you tell me about a magical time, whether it's in songwriting or in the music business, where you were just like, wow, this is like, I'm like in it, I'm living it, this is the dream. And then also, what songs did you write for Britney Spears? Thank you.
You know what? I pinch myself every day to sit in the seat that I get to sit in now. I think every experience being in this room right now on this panel is such an honor and a blessing. And I think when I was just getting started, when you're really focused on something, you're not realizing what's happening while it's happening. Especially those times probably working with Britney or Jennifer Lopez or Mary. I just felt so lucky to be there, and so it always felt like, wow, I can't even really see what's happening. It's just happening. But yeah, with Britney, I worked on a number of songs. I had a couple songs on the greatest hits. One of them called "I've Just Begun," and I also wrote a song called "Chaotic" with her, which maybe 6 months, a year later, a song called "Toxic" came out. Kathy did us. I'm still wondering about that, but no, it was such a wonderful thing. I mean, but no, it's all love. I always make that joke, but it's totally all love. Working with Britney was one of the greatest times in my life. It was the first time I'd gone to Sweden and been out of the country, which was super inspiring. But yeah, we worked on a lot of songs together. This is just want to say this. These are the highs and lows, right? We worked on probably 10 songs together, and only 2 came out. One ended up being in the movie Bridesmaids, but I didn't give up. And I think sometimes that songwriters, you have this vision of like, this is it, this is the one, this is gonna be the one that's gonna take me over the top, I know it, and then it comes out and it doesn't do well, or it doesn't come out at all, or you spend hours and days and months with an artist and you only get one song, or you get no songs, and it's so disappointing. But my work with her was so pivotal because I feel like that was a time when I could have gave up and I didn't. I kept going and kept pushing through and had a good attitude about it, So yeah, I'm grateful for the work that we did together and all of it. Super grateful.